she'll be on for 3, off for 1. Both games. All right, so it looks like we're going to be live.
And we are live. Welcome back to Gateway to the Best, the 2012 Men's Roller Derby Association Championships. We continue on with day number 1 with bout number 2. We're going to see the matchup with 7 versus 2, as we will have the second-seeded St. Louis Gatekeepers from St. Louis, Missouri, taking on the Dallas Deception. They are the number 7 seed from Texas. Welcome back to our live coverage here on Derby News Network. Joined alongside Val Capone, my name is Muckety Muck, and the host squad comes into this contest with a record of 7-1. Very impressive season for the St. Louis Gatekeepers, and doing it on their home track here at Gateway to the Best. They want to send a message. Dallas coming in at 3-1. These two squads have faced each other earlier this season. The Gatekeepers back on June 30th got a 340-83 victory. That was then, and this is now, though, as we wipe the slates clean and we get ready to go with day number 1, bout number 2. The winner of this one automatically goes into the semifinals with St. Louis and Dallas.
All right, so it looks like we're going to get things underway here. Of course, we have a very tight formation on the jam line. I see number 88 from Dallas Deception in red and black on the outside of the jam line. That is Ninja Please. He is facing off against a hometown hero, one of my favorite skaters in Derby Nation, Magnum PIMP. You can't see him because he's crouched down low, but you're going to definitely recognize him when you see him skate.
Absolutely. These St. Louis Gatekeepers feeling really good heading into Gateway of the Best, or to the Best, I should say. Of course, as we said, 6-1 record. Of course, they are the host squad here. Feeling really, really good coming into this postseason. They do have a couple of injuries in the lineup. We'll tell you about those here in just a little bit. But checking out our rosters for St. Louis: Zombie Jesus, Shango Fett, Magnum PIMP, Debaucherous Prime, Handrail, High Pains Drifter, Kurt Mangle, Sweet Tooth, Neil Delph Experience, Percy Control, Jukebox Hero, Double XL, Bled Zeppelin, and Inquadable Hook. That is their roster here for this weekend.
And for the Dallas Deception, for this bout in particular, we have Beast Jerky, Peter Pandemonium, Uncle Jesse McNasty, Magnum Eats Pie, not to be confused with Magnum PIMP, of course. Magnum on Magnum. You Gotta Be Rad, also known as Brad Isaacs. Rhino, Dick Diamond, Bulk Bogan, Ninja Please, who is on the jam line, Ram Thrax, Chuck Rydell, Frankenbeans, and Waco Path.
If you're just now joining us in our first matchup here at Gateway to the Best, it was the top seed, Your Mom Men's Derby, getting the 201-98 victory over Mass Maelstrom from Massachusetts. So already Your Mom goes into the semifinal round. They'll be taking on the 4 versus 5 winner with Magic City and Puget Sound, and that's coming up later on this afternoon. The winner of this one takes on the winner of the New York Shock Exchange Portland matchup, which takes place immediately following this matchup here.
Now, Muckety, you're looking at that score of the bout that just happened. That's a pretty wide differential. But I gotta say, you know, if you didn't look at the scoreboard, you couldn't have told that that's how the final was going to be. It was a very intense, very physical, grueling matchup, especially being the first one of the day. You know, guys traveling from all across the country, literally. I mean, it's very tiring on you mentally, physically, and both teams just came out swinging, as it were. Yeah, very aggressive.
Yeah, absolutely. We saw Your Mom get out to that 70-2 lead early on in this contest, and Mass doing a great job of adjusting on the fly and making some configurations, some readjustments to the schematics out there, and making this a pretty tight bout at halftime. Only a 40-point deficit for them, but then we saw Your Mom get back on that explosive offense in the second half of play. But I think if you're Mass Maelstrom, you're feeling really good, though, heading into this tournament and into your next round, and we won't know who their opponent's going to be, but fine showing for Massachusetts in that first bout.
Yeah, especially coming in ranked the lowest seed of these 8 teams, but there are a lot of leagues that are not here representing at Gateway to the Best, taking on the number 1 seed, Your Mom, who has some of the greatest skaters in men's flat track roller derby. So we're going to get the action underway as the pack starts to move. Ninja Please trying to fight against a 2-all in the back of Gatekeepers.
And for St. Louis, Magnum PIMP right out of the gates is going to be your lead jammer here for the Gatekeepers. So the host squad looking to post points here in bout number 2, day 1 here of Gateway to the Best.
Ninja Please turns into Pivot Please as he takes out the pivot. Zombie Jesus lapping around the track at the back of the pack as Magnum calls the jam. Let's see if any points were picked up. 0 for the team in red from Dallas Deception, and I believe 2 points picked up for the hometown heroes of St. Louis Gatekeepers.
Quick 2-0 lead for St. Louis into this first round matchup against Dallas. Our live coverage this weekend here on Derby News Network being brought to you in part by Rydell Skates. At Rydell, skate design, performance, comfort, and fit are challenged on a daily basis. Stop by their booth if you're here this weekend and learn why our boots are the choice of top skaters everywhere. That's Rydell. And already we got ourselves an officials timeout.
pretty early on, but it is the second game of this tournament. They want to make sure all the T's are crossed and the I's are dotted, if you will. We're trying to find out what's going on here.
And we are getting an officials check here on this officials timeout. I do believe our clock did not start up, so now we're trying to get an official check of how much time expired in that first jam, so they are running down the clock.
Well, I just found out from Mr. Rock, thank you, Eric Rock, Ringster is frozen, actually.
Oh,
one of the new technologies that really, really gives us an edge in figuring out the strengths and weaknesses of teams, all the stats that we got. Ringster is one of the amazing tools that has recently been picked up by pretty much everybody. As it should. I mean, it really makes us sound pretty smart, actually.
Well, and it's good for the cause because mathematics, of course, the fundamentals of this sport, and always having that continuous pipeline of information and point checking, and also in assessing penalties and seeing how many trips to the box skaters has. It's a very useful technology for announcers, for skating officials, non-skating officials, and it gives us a chance to convey that information to the fans out there.
And honestly, for skaters as well, I mean, I love getting stats reported back to me after every practice, every bout. I know my teammates feel the same. I know any teammates I talk to, they really appreciate it. Well, it might hurt to find out how many times you went to the penalty box, yeah, but to find out why, so you can tweak it a little bit. If you find out you're a little bit elbow heavy, things like that, are very helpful. But Ringster, it's a fabulous tool, and I'm really excited about it being really integrated into modern flat track roller derby.
And they are one of our sponsors here this weekend. We'll tell you more about them as the weekend progresses here. Thank you so much to Ringster, and some great sponsors, and we'll be telling you about them as our bout progresses. Looks like we've whittled about 1 minute and 2 seconds off of our clock here, so with 28:58 left to go here in our first half of play, a 3-0 lead here. Magnum PIMP getting the initial jam, the initial lead jam here for St. Louis. They are the number 2 seed coming into Gateway to the best. They're faced up against the Dallas Deception, the number 7 seed here at the MRDA 2012 Championships.
Speaking of number 7, Franken Beans is joined by number 14, Peter Pandemonium, number 314, Magnum Eats Pie. I believe that's number 68, Dick Diamond. They're going to be making up the blockers for Dallas Deception. Can't quite see the jammer. I do apologize. We're kind of across the way from the jam line, so we're going to have to wait till they roll around past us. Up. I just saw Debaucherous Prime flashed us his jersey number. Thank you, sir. He must have sensed that we were talking about the jammers.
Absolutely. Debaucherous. Yes.
Announcers never talk about the jammers.
No, not at all. Debaucherous Prime, a solid season here for the St. Louis Gatekeepers, and this is a team, a very well-seasoned team out here for St. Louis. As we said, a 6-1 record heading into the postseason. Their one lone blemish on the record. We were at Spring Roll earlier this year. A last jam bit of heroics by the New York Stock Exchange to the number 3 seed, and that was a big-time bout being played there at Spring Roll, and they're looking for a little bit of revenge against the New York Stock Exchange.
Yeah, they certainly are. And that final on that game was 125 and 131 in the favor of New York Stock Exchange, and it was a very controversial last jam win. But boy, as a fan watching at home, it was really intense and exciting, and you really just didn't know what was going to happen that entire game. It did come down to that last jam.
I'd say arguably the best men's bout we've seen all season long, and I anticipate some great action this weekend here as well. We finally get back underway, 28:50 left to go here, and out in front as your lead here for Dallas, it will be...
He's the one you call Dr. Feelgood. He's the one that you call lead jammer.
Absolutely. 98.6 is going to be lead jammer here now, trying to bust into this 3-point lead here for St. Louis out there jamming. It is Debaucherous Prime for St. Louis.
Very tight wall formed up at the top of the pack. Unfortunately for 5150 from St. Louis, Inquadable Hulk took a bit of a tumble, hit a trap door on the track, if you will, and Dr. Feelgood was able to skate right on past, picking up some points. Let's see how many points were awarded to them. That was 2 points on the board for Dallas, 3 for St. Louis. We got 28 minutes and 15 seconds left on the period clock.
Each squad scoring points in our first 2 jams here of this contest, so St. Louis with the 1-point advantage. Looks like it will be Shango Fett at the line here for St. Louis. They are in the white jerseys. Dallas is in red. We'll get a official confirmation on their jammer here once we get an open line to look at, and it looks like that will be Ramthrax, number 90 out there wearing red for the Dallas Deception. Number 2 versus number 7 with St. Louis and Dallas, and here comes Shango Fett.
A nice take up by Bulk Bogan. It's not very easy to take down Shango Fett, but he sure did a nice escort block, taking him down out of the pack. First we double lead jam. Once again in red and black, lead jammer status gets awarded to Ramthrax, number 90 for the Dallas Deception.
So they're looking for a lead change here very early on in this contest. 27:30 left to go here in the first half of play. We are 25 seconds deep into this jam. Shango Fett now finally gets through after he finally breaks through a very, very tough wall here of Dallas. They've looked pretty solid here in our first couple of jams. Now on his scoring pass. It looks like it will be Ramthrax trying to make things happen, but he will call off the jam as Shango Fett was able to bust on through and actually got 4 points off of that jam there.
Yeah, that was a delayed call by Ramthrax. I think he was more concerned about not getting a track cut, so he didn't realize that Shango Fett was coming around the outside of that track. They did pick up a few points. We're going to have to wait and see what the scoreboard update says, but yeah, 4 points picked up on that last pass by Shango Fett. We almost had a lead change in the favor of Dallas, but timing is so important when you're calling off that jam, Muckety.
Looks like it was a 4-3 jam in favor there of St. Louis, so that's going to extend St. Louis's lead to 7-5, 26-35 here in the first period of play. At the line here, donning the star for the St. Louis Gatekeepers, who are in white and muscling his way through. That is going to be...
That's number 12, Handrail.
Yep.
Handrail rocking the lead jammer for St. Louis. A big takeout from, that was number 314, Double XL. He is going to the box for it. Not sure what the call was on that. But perfectly timed, executed block. Unfortunately, as I said, he's in the box. Down goes the jammer once again for Dallas Deception around the pack. Did he pick up all 5 points? Nope, excuse me. That's only 4 points on that last pass, Muckety. No pass, no penalty to the outside. Speaking of the outside, sneaking around the outside was Handrail. Now cutting it in, getting a little bit of assist from Percy Control. As Percy Control takes out that blocker that was making Handrail's life difficult.
A lot of heavy hitting and another 4 points collected there by Handrail. So an 8-point jam there by St. Louis extends this lead to double digits. It was 15-5. St. Louis on top of Dallas. 25-35 left to go here in our first half of play, and a lot of heavy hitting. We've seen a lot of bodies flying, and that's what you can kind of come to expect here on day number 1 of a postseason tournament. All these teams wanting to send a message not only to the teams that they are playing currently, but the teams that they could potentially face down the road. We mean business here this weekend.
Yeah, they certainly do. Dr. Feelgood is back on the line for Dallas as he sneaks out. Nice work by Dr. Feelgood, getting past Juke Block's hero to get lead jammer status for Dallas Deception.
Magnum TIMP donning the star here for the St. Louis Gatekeepers, but big momentum shift possibly here to Dr. Feelgood and the Dallas Deception. They're down by 10. Jam clock is 20 seconds deep.
Now, I got to be honest, if I'm Dr. Feelgood, I'm thinking let's just get 1 or 2. Magnum TIMP is far too dangerous and skilled of a jammer to even risk that. Good call by Dr. Feelgood. Let's see, 0 points unfortunately were awarded as the St. Louis bench erupts with joy.
Double fist in the air. It keeps our score at 15-5. 24.5 minutes left in our first half of play. One of the great sponsors this weekend is KDHX Radio 88.1. You can hear real DJs playing music that you won't hear anywhere else, or you can stream it online at kdhx.org. That's 88.1. KDHX, independent music, plays here in St. Louis.
Each team has 1 blocker in the penalty box, but they are both standing, which of course indicates that they have 10 seconds or less left on their penalty box time. You'll notice a very slow start. That's in order to eat up the penalty box time.
Looks like both teams will be at full strength as this jam gets underway. Out there jamming for Dallas, it's Ramthrax for his second jam of the contest. But out in front here for St. Louis, Debatras Prime. We'll say his name a lot here in this one. Very deep jammer rotation here for St. Louis. So looking now to extend this 10-point lead is St. Louis. Game number 2, day number 1 of Gateway to the Best with number 2 versus number 7. Big hit by Double XL there. You saw that in the straightaway there on Ramthrax. And now a penalty power jam coming up here to St. Louis. We'll get the official call here, but meanwhile in the process, Debatras Prime has 5 points here for the St. Louis Gatekeepers. So trying to bust this one wide open here early on as Debatras Prime gets through for his second scoring pass. Another 5 here for St. Louis.
St. Louis pulling the isolation play, taking a red blocker and keeping them behind a snow-blind wall of white. Around the outside goes Debatras Prime. He's got 2 blockers left at the top of the pack. Down goes Debatras Prime, courtesy of the shoulder check from Rhino, barreling through him, but Debatras Prime does get out. They try to release their teammate, that is number 13, Beast Jerky. But in the process, Debatras Prime had gotten all the way around the track and is back scoring. Let's see how many points he picked up. That's going to be 5 points, a grand slam for Debaucherous Prime and the St. Louis Gatekeepers.
And that's 20 points altogether on this power jam here for Debaucherous Prime. They extended the lead now to 30, and on the straightaway gets knocked to the inside, and he will reset and resettle as this power jam continues here. And now we'll get the whistles here, and it looks like another 5 possibly there by Debaucherous Prime. We will get the official call here. Looks like he did. So with 22-25 left in the first period of play, big shakeup here offensively here by St. Louis off of that huge jam there by Debaucherous Prime. We'll get the official scoring here, but it looks like it will be at least 39-5. And St. Louis looking very comfortable early on in this matchup.
Percy Control of St. Louis sitting in the penalty box as a blocker. There are 2 skaters in the box for Dallas Deception. One of them, unfortunately, is number 90, Ramthrax, who was indeed the last jammer for Dallas. Not sure why he got sent to the box, but I do know for sure that Shango Fett is jamming once again for St. Louis.
Looking to make things happen. 3-on-3 is how the blocking schema looks here. Shango Fett in the white with the gray trim here is not going to be your lead jammer here for
minor track cut actually for Shango, but nice work by Uncle Jesse McNasty, and you got to be rad, keeping Shango in long enough to eat up more of that penalty time by Ramthrax. But Shango Fett once again around the outside, trying to fight past number 18, that is Uncle Jesse McNasty. Does get out. Let's see how many points he picked up. I believe that's 5 more points.
Shango Fett extending this Gatekeeper lead to 35, and meanwhile Ramthrax just kind of giving close watch.
He just got an illegal procedure minor. He did try to call the jam. There is no lead jammer for this jam. It means we're going to go a full 2 minutes. Not quite sure why he's slowing down and talking to the bench. Not exactly what you want to do when there's no lead jammer and you already have a 35-point deficit. But 4 more points picked up. Shango Fett asking why. It looks like there was a track cut, minor track cut. Number 90 Ramthrax trying to fight past a wall of white at the top of the pack. Down he goes by the nice blocking from Juke Block's Hero, living up to that name. Lots of whistles being blown. Let's see who's going to be sent to the sin bin as I see fingers being pointed in the direction of it.
As this jam continues on, 40 seconds and counting left here in this jam, 20-35 left here in our first period of play. Meanwhile, more penalties being assessed here as Uncle Jesse McNasty is going to have to take a seat as well. So now 2 blocker disadvantage here against the Dallas Deception. Meanwhile, it's Ramthrax still with the star. You
got to be rad. Also in the penalty box, those 2 are excellent tag team, keeping Shango Fett back behind them. But with them both in the box, Shango Fett is out free to score another 5 points. And it looks like a St. Louis Gatekeeper combination is going to the penalty box. That's number 21, Kurt Mangle, following Juke Block's Hero. So we got a 2-2 pack out there as the jam does expire. We're going to get an update from our scoreboard in just a moment.
Very effective power jam there by St. Louis, as that was an 18-point jam there by Shango Fett. 4 points was collected there by the Dallas Deception, so that extends St. Louis's lead to 57-9, 19:40 and counting left here in this first half of play. So very solid work there, capitalizing on the penalties there. And there have been a few too many here by Dallas in the last couple of minutes of play. They played very clean. It was very tight early on. It was St. Louis only with a 2-point advantage. Since then, it has been a 50-5 run.
Well, and the problem with that Dallas was experiencing is lots of penalty minutes early on. Dr. Feelgood doing some nice footwork around the pack, out for lead jammer, and he is facing off against number 12, that is Handrail. Jam's going to get called as they are single file formation. Good call on the part of Dr. Feelgood. You know, a 0-0 jam is still a bit of a win when you're down by this many points. 9 on the board for Dallas, 65 for St. Louis. 18 minutes and 50 seconds left.
And we want to say hello to the fine folks at Green Monster Roller Sports, makers of Antic Skate Boots, Gumball Toe Stops, Reckless Wheels, and Moto Bearings. Green Monster, instigators of the next big thing in Derby. Check them out at GRENMNSTR.com.
They don't have time for vowels, my friend. They're too busy being instigators of the next big thing in Derby.
Magnum PIMP is going to be your lead jammer here for St. Louis. They are up by 56 points, 65-9 with Magnum PIMP. More penalties being assessed here as we'll get the official call. Meanwhile, more bodies go a-flying here.
Ninja Please is being sent to the penalty box for a major track cut. The St. Louis fans in turn 3 were very excited about that. And look at the smile on Magnum PIMP's face. L7 is picking up more points as the jammer Ninja is in the penalty box. 5 more points for St. Louis.
Going to the box will be Zombie Jesus here for St. Louis. They are on the power jam. Still 3 blockers out there for St. Louis. Looking so far so good if you are the second seed here. Looks like there is about 110 left to go in this jam. Another 5 picked up there by Magnum PIMP. Now extends the lead 75-9. Wide open spaces on the straightaway. Magnum collects another 5 here for St. Louis. Blocking schematic out there for St. Louis. It's a bunch of beef out there with double XL Kurt Mangle. Also out there is going to be Juke Block's Hero out there.
Juke Block's Hero. He's got fouls in his eyes. Just kidding. Oh, and it looks like, not sure what the call was on that, but we're going to be, okay, no call on that. 5 points. Interesting. We do apologize. We are trying to work with what we got here, folks.
Hey, you're going to get those things in day number 1. That's kind of to be expected here.
Certainly.
Doesn't matter what level you're playing at.
The call was on the other side of the track, so I do apologize. But I can tell you for certain that 5 more points were picked up by number L7, Magnum PIP, for the St. Louis Gatekeepers.
This has been back-to-back power jams here for St. Louis. They capitalized with 25 points from Shango Fett earlier on. Magnum PIMP is going to call this one off here for St. Louis. He got at least 20. We'll get the official collection of points here in just a second, but they have widened up this margin now. It is unofficially 90-9. St. Louis with the lead. 16.5 minutes left here in our first half of play. While we're at it, we want to say hello to the fine folks at Vanilla Derby. They're always striving to exceed your expectations. Now available with upgraded Italian leather. Vanilla Derby.
That's my favorite kind of leather. Upgraded.
Upgrade? Oh, I thought Italian leather.
Well, sure, why not? I'm a Capone, right? Sort of.
Absolutely.
Okay, back to the action on the track. Let's see, we got Dr. Feelgood out there, number 986, jamming up against.
That will be Debaucherous Prime once again here for
Ooh.
St. Louis. Fine work on turn number 3, and it will be a lead jammer here for Dallas. So Dr. Feelgood making things happen here for Dallas. They got to start working offensively here. Their deficit right now is 89 points. So on a scoring pass, Dr. Feelgood gets a lot of assistance. Nice work, and he'll get 5.
Excellent, excellent work by Dr. Feelgood. Also the teamwork, the blocking that is out there. Nice, nice, nice. That's all I can say about that. Out of the pack now and eligible to score is Debaucherous Prime. Hopefully Dr. Feelgood will realize that Debaucherous Prime is just finally now out of the pack and try to pick up at least another point or 2, but call the jam before he reaches the, before his opposition reaches the back of the pack. Does he do it? Yes, he does. Oh, and he does a little fist pump on one foot. That was some nice footwork there. Kind of doing, he almost looked like he was skating in the Matrix, kind of disappeared for a second, popped back out, called that jam, did a little fist pump. Excellent work by Dr. Feelgood. I'm sure the folks back home in Dallas are very proud of that maneuver right there.
And they are very proud of this squad. As we said, coming into this contest, the record of 3-1, taking a look at their bouts so far this year, getting victories over the Cowtown Butchers, actually a pair of victories, 321-73 and 357-55, and then holding at bay the Twin City Terrors from up north, 237-130. So 3-1, their record coming into the postseason. St. Louis, as we said, 6-1.
Now on the scoreboard, we have 19 for the Dallas Deception, 92 for the Gatekeepers from St. Louis. 14 minutes and 40 seconds left in the first period of gameplay between these two teams. Shango Fett and Ninja Please facing off against each other.
Shango's had a very productive first half, notched up at least 20 in a power jam earlier on to start widening the gap here for St. Louis. Meanwhile, still a lot of activity up front. Ninja Please with one blocker to beat now gets a little bit of assistance, and it will be lead jammer here to Shango Fett.
And this is why Shango Fett is so successful. He is watching his teammate, seeing what he can do to help be a better defensive player, kind of pushing his teammate into Ninja Please to slow Ninja Please down, keeping an eye on the prize. Nice work by Shango Fett.
And so now with Ninja Please, he's got about half the circles to catch up with Shango Fett. Still more activity, and Shango's going to call this one off as he took a tumble.
He took a little bit of a tumble. That's what we call a trap door, where you just kind of fall for no reason. All of a sudden, this great gaping hole appears on the track. But he called off the jam in time before any points are scored by Ninja Please. Let's take a look at that scoreboard. 23 for Dallas, 96 for St. Louis.
And you can talk to us here this weekend. Just go to the hashtag AskMRDA. Want to get your feedback. Who do you think's going to? Yeah, who do you think's going to win this tournament? I can think of 5 squads. Well, actually, when it comes to the postseason, all of them are eligible and capable. I guess with the exception of Mass Maelstrom, who lost in our first bout here, to take one of the 3 coveted spots here this weekend in St. Louis. But we want to get your feedback from the Derby universe. Who do you think's going to stand out this weekend? Who do you like in our potential matchups? Hey, we start the semifinals tomorrow, and still a full slate of action to come at you later on today. Coming up after this bout, number 3 versus number 6 with the New York Stock Exchange taking on Portland. And then later on this afternoon, what's going to be a great bout between Magic City and Puget Sound.
Oh, yeah, I'm excited for that bout. That's the next bout I'm calling, and I begged to announce that bout. I was like,
did you lobby? Did you
what is it going to
filibuster?
take? Yeah, I completely did. I paid off multiple voters, you know, as a good Chicagoan would. Vote early, vote often, vote Capone to call that game. I was very excited because I think that's probably my favorite matchup of today. It's going to be really intense and, as they say, brutal.
Yeah, and this is going to be a fun weekend. We've expanded the amount of teams from 6 to 8 this year.
And that's what's so excellent, because last year, you know, it was a one-day tournament in Old Bethpage, New York, the first ever MRDA Championship. How exciting. And I sat at home watching it going, man, I wish I could be there.
Me too.
And now I'm just so thrilled that both of us are here. High five, buddy. Nice work.
Absolutely.
And this is 2 days of full-on hardcore men's roller derby, and I just got to say I couldn't be happier than to be sitting here right here with you, my friend.
And I tell you what, short driving distance for both of us to get here.
Brilliant.
That's an added bonus there.
Yeah,
absolutely.
I mean, my car load was not very thrilled with my music selection.
Is that right?
I may or may not have made them listen to Britney Spears and Katy Perry the entire way here.
Like back to back, or did?
Yeah, for sure. They slept through Britney Spears, but then they woke up for Katy Perry.
Fair enough, fair enough.
But don't worry, I finished it off with Iron Maiden.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah,
you ended on a high note.
Oh, literally.
Bruce Dickinson will always do
Certainly,
that for
and not just his singing, he's also a pilot.
That's
so
right.
A high note for real.
He is what you call a showman, that's for sure.
As are many of these skaters here in St. Louis. I love watching the agility, the tricksters of these guys skating, man. It's a different kind of intensity that I just love. I love watching men's roller derby. And, you know, we're in official timeout right now. We'll try to find out some updates for you. But I have a personal update that I would love to talk about, if that's okay. A good friend of mine, and she's a friend to many people in roller derby. Some people know her from her days with the Muñecas Muertas.
Yes.
From Duke City Derby.
New Mexico.
Yeah, known as Muffin. 360 is her jersey number. Some people know her now as Caitlin Kraus, skating for Denver Roller Dolls, both A and B teams for their All-Stars and their bruising altitude. She sustained a terrible, terrible injury, I believe on October 11th. And she's looking for, actually, we're all looking to help her out a little bit. If you can go to onetoughmuffin.chipin.com. If you have any questions, by all means, please email Derby News Network. Any of us will be able to answer them for you. But there is a fundraising effort for her. She had a horrific injury, one of the worst injuries I've seen in the 8.5, almost 9 years of Derby that I've been involved. So whatever you can donate to her, please do. We're going to get back to the action on the track, but One Tough Muffin, which it couldn't be a better description of her.
Yes.
.chipin.com. So back to the action on the track. We got number 90, Ramthrax, facing off against Handrail. Handrail jamming for St. Louis. Looks like he's going to get out first. Will he get lead jammer? Yes, he will.
So Handrail now here for St. Louis, updating you on our score. It's 96-18. The Gatekeepers on top, 12:35 left here in our first half of play. And St. Louis looking to bust open triple digits here midway through this first period of play. Handrail will notch up to the front of the pack, and he'll collect 5 here for St. Louis. And that will extend the lead even more. Full complement of blockers, I should say 1 in the box for St. Louis, but a lot of veteran experience out there for the Gatekeepers.
Now, I could be wrong, sir, but I'm going to go with what the OTO was for, was a scoreboard correction. Because in the previous jam, they were listed as 23 points for Dallas, dropped down to 18. So we do apologize, but there was a mistake in scoring. And, you know, as a Windy City roller, I can definitely say how very important it is to make sure all your numbers add up accordingly. You don't want to wait until everything's
No, in
wrapped
hindsight,
up.
You don't want to look back at those moments and say, boy, I wish we would have taken those extra couple of minutes to really go through all the points in the scoring.
Sometimes OTOs are A-okay.
Hey, that's fine with me. I have no problem with that whatsoever, especially when there's so much riding on the line in this first round matchups here, because that's going to set the template for how the rest of the weekend progresses here. So it was 4 points notched up there by St. Louis. They lead 105-18, 11:35, and with lead jam for his 3rd time in this contest, it's going to be Magnum PIMP for the St. Louis Gatekeepers.
And he's facing off against Dr. Feelgood. Now, Magnum PIMP, it didn't even look like he was trying. He could have done that in his sleep. There was a huge open road up the inside, courtesy of the Gatekeepers defense. Right now, the defense in red is putting on the attack on Magnum PIMP, swarming him, if you will. Out of the pack is Dr. Feelgood, number 9.86. Going to call the jam. Good move, even though they have a very sizable lead right now. There still is many opportunities for Dallas to close that gap, as we've seen already today. You know, as you said, Mass Maelstrom was stuck at, 2 on the board for quite some time.
Yes.
They closed the gap pretty decently before halftime. So you never know. You never want to play it safe, my friend.
It's been
you always want to play it safe.
Absolutely, and we will see here now with 10:40 left here in the first half of play. Looks like donning the star. We'll get a clear look at it here in just a second. Will be Debatris Prime here for St. Louis, and donning the star it will be for
Ninja
Dallas.
Please.
Ninja Please, but it will be Prime as the lead jammer, as Ninja Please did a nice job of hopping over High Pain's Drifter, who was trying to hold him at bay there. So it is Prime for St. Louis. They are in white, and Ninja Please here for the Dallas Deception. They are in red. 20 seconds into this jam.
Whoa, beautiful apex jump. You know, I was just going to point out, both teams have 2 blockers each in the box. Very light pack. Excellent opportunity for such an agile skater as Debatris Prime to do just that. I was hoping for an apex leap. Again, he's reading my mind.
It's like Christmas has come early this year.
Oh, my goodness, yes. I love me some Derby. On the board, we got 18 for Dallas, still 113 for St. Louis. 9 minutes and 48 seconds left in the first period.
And say hello to the fine folks at Ringster. We've talked about them. We'll use them all weekend to record and publish roller derby statistics in real time. Find out more by visiting the website ringster.com.
I just visited the website right there. It's beautiful.
How about that?
Shango Fett facing off against Ramthrax.
And Shango Fett will be your lead here for St. Louis. They lead 113-18. This is number 2 versus number 7 with St. Louis. Pace slowing down between the 2 jammers here. As Shango Fett just trying to make things a stalemate here. And it looks like he got 2 points there.
He did.
Snuck by on that one there.
That's going to be, at least one of those was for the skater that he passed. The other is going to probably, I'm going to say, for his teammate that was in the Dallas Deception that was in the penalty box. Good call by Shango.
Extends the lead now to 115-18. Clock rolling along. Under 9 minutes left here in our first period.
Now we have 1 skater in the box for Dallas. That's number 420.
You got to be rad.
Yeah, you got to be rad. Brad Isaacs also, as he's listed. And Percy Control is standing at attention. He's about ready to come back onto the track. And another St. Louis blocker who I can't quite see. Sorry, because the officials are blocking my view. So out on the floor, wow, big hit by Percy Control, who just came out of the penalty box, slowing down Dr. Feelgood, and handrail at the back of the pack. Percy once again is slowing down Dr. Feelgood. Dr. Feelgood sneaks right past him. Beautiful maneuvering by the doc himself.
Great footwork there, Jam. 20 seconds into this one here. Dr. Feelgood looking to make things happen. They got quite a sizable margin here to try to bust back into. Meanwhile, it is Handrail finally getting through, but scoring points, notching up. We'll get the official call here in a second. It looks like 4 fingers in the air. 4 big points collected there by Dallas, and that will whittle the margin now down to, if my South County math, 93 we'll call it.
All right. Oh, it was a fabulous year. Dallas,
South County math, you know, I just don't follow direction. That's how it goes.
Dallas 22, 115 for St. Louis, 7:47 on the board left. Well, look at that. Look at how tight they are against the jam line. It's like they have a strategy going or something.
Strategy so implemental here in Derby as we finally get another blocker release from St. Louis. And again, Magnum PIMP with that fancy footwork making things happen. He's your lead. He
was skating on one skate, leaning against the blocker who was trying to force him out, using the momentum of that blocker for stability. Excellent work by PIMP, picking up lead jammer once again, as Ninja Please is now out of the pack. But so is Magnum PIMP. Skates out, picks up 4 points. Let's see what he's going to do here. Yep, there you go. Called the jam.
Pretty much thought that's how it was going to progress. And with an even 7 minutes left here in our first half of play, St. Louis extending this lead even further now. We'll get an official.
4 points.
By 4 points. How about that? Green Monster Roller Sports. Hey, we just don't give you awesome Derby products. We give you confidence.
They do give you awesome Derby products.
Also want to say hi to the folks there at Rydell Skates, handmade by the expert craftsmen in the United States of America for over 65 years. That's Rydell Skates.
I got to wonder if Chuck Rydell of the Dallas Deception is any relation, number 96. Probably going to have to ask him after this game, just saying.
Got fans watching from all over the world here this weekend. As a matter of fact, both Bogan's dad's watching here. We're going to say hi to Rick Worsley.
Oh, cool.
Yes, he is watching down in Texas. We love the fact that you are watching us here on Derby News Network. We're bringing you all the coverage here this weekend, live and live in Technicolor here from St. Louis, Missouri.
Yeah, and thank you so much to all the viewers that are tuning in. If you have any watch parties going on, as always, please send them to us. We love seeing your photos. If you have any comments or questions that you want answered, feel free to send them our way. We'll keep an eye on the chat forums. Yeah, thank you so much for tuning in and supporting men's flat track roller derby.
Don't forget, full slate of action still coming at you later on today. If you're watching Derby News Network on your laptop, then you can just see the full schedule. That's right in front of you there. But for those of you that are kind of doing things in and about, like calling a game perhaps, if you got a team that you're interested in, coming up next, it's going to be New York Stock Exchange and Portland at 1 o'clock Central. Back underway with action, 6:30 left here in our first half of play. It's Debaucherous Prime in front, and as your lead for St. Louis.
Yeah, Ramthrax is fighting that white wall at the back of the pack. Debaucherous Prime already almost all the way around the track, ready to score.
So now St. Louis looking to make this lead triple digits. We'll see. Nice work there by Prime. Utilizes that open wall there. A lot of beef in front there with Incredible Hulk, also Double XL, and it is a host of others. Zombie Jesus making things happen and making wide open spaces here for Debaucherous Prime.
Debaucherous Prime doing a great job of that swoop and duck technique that he uses very well. Gets very, very low, very crouched down underneath the hips of the opposition. Picked up 5 points on that last pass.
So another 5 collected here by Debaucherous Prime. Nobody in the box for either squad, so we've got a full complement of skaters out there. Now one will take a seat here for Dallas, so a 1-blocker advantage for St. Louis. Prime here on his 3rd scoring pass. Forced to the outside. He will have to reset things. Nice work there. Yes, nice work there by Frankenbeans. Bodies go a-tumbling, taking a spill. It was Zombie Jesus out there for St. Louis.
Oh, no, it looks like the jammer for Dallas is going to the penalty box. That's Ramthrax. Not sure what the call is on that. Hopefully we'll have an update for you. But I can tell you I have an update about the point scoring by Debaucherous Prime. That is 5 more points for St. Louis. 25 seconds left to go in this jam here. We've reached the 5-minute mark here in our first period of play. Debaucherous Prime here for St. Louis. They are in white. Looking to add up more points here. Gets on through. He'll collect more here for St. Louis. A very productive jam and bout here for Debaucherous Prime. He's got 3 off of that last scoring pass. Look at this beautiful wall set up by High Pains and Bled Zeppelin and Incredible Hulk, correct. Excellent, excellent work. Good teamwork, assisting their teammate by trapping some of the opposition behind. 4 more points picked up by Prime.
And it has been MVP blocking out here for St. Louis. We're going to get ourselves a timeout call with 4:25 left here in our first half of play. This one will be taken by Dallas. And we see St. Louis with the 141-22 lead.
So can we talk about Ringster for a second?
Absolutely.
Because I'm kind of in love with this. I mean, this is excellent. I mean, I'm just staring at the list of features. It's phenomenal. I mean, it's real-time scoring. It's brilliant. That's a scoreboard that we're working off right now. I mean, I cannot thank you enough to the folks from Ringster for all your hard work over all these years testing and tweaking. Thank you so much. It's just one more step in making the world realize what we already know, that roller derby is 100% a legitimate sport. So thank you to the folks from Ringster for helping us in that mission.
Yes, and on a local note, both the St. Louis Gatekeepers and the arch rival Roller Girls, who is the St. Louis flat track roller derby franchise for the ladies' side, going to be implementing Ringster full-time next year. So, yeah, we are really excited about that. And for those of you who are in video production that does work with your local leagues, Ringster can be tied into your switcher as well to help out with your statistics. So multi-platform, multi-uses for Ringster.
I got to say, you know, I unfortunately was not able to attend any of the regional playoffs for the WFCDA, but I have a lot of friends that were working as NSOs. And one of my very best friends in Derby Nation, Mullet Over, former Windy City roller now, she sadly doesn't live in Chicago anymore. I'm very sad. But she did work the South Central, and she could not stop raving about Ringster and how amazing it was and how it's really, really keen for the stats geek, but it's also good for, say, I don't know, a simpleton like me that really does not understand numbers but needs them put out in front of me. She loved it, so I can only imagine how great it's going to be for every every league that likes to play the pro game, it's just going to be another tool to help us get to that next level.
I got a chance to work with them at North Central's over in Niagara Falls. They came swinging right out of the gates, and it was fine work that those hard-working folks did all weekend long. We get back underway with 4:15 left here in our first half of play. 141-22, St. Louis on top, and it's Shango Fett as your lead jam.
Yeah, we do have a power jam. Ramthrax did go to the penalty box in the last jam. Small pack out here for St. Louis, but let's take a look at who it is. Shango Fett with a nice apex jump right over the red wall. We got Double XL and Percy Control.
Miko Prack here, out here for this jam, the 19th jam of this first half of play, and Shango Fett collects more points here for St. Louis, finally joining back into the rotation here.
Ramthrax
here.
Facing off against Percy Control. Percy Control goes in for the block. Ramthrax scoots around him. We got Shango Fett facing off against number 314. That's Magnum Eats Pie.
And the jam will be called off here by Shango Fett, but another solid collection of points here extends the lead now for St. Louis, the number 2 seed here at Gateway to the best, 155 to Dallas's 122. They are the 7th seed. The winner of this matchup will face on our bout that's coming up immediately following this contest between the number 3 seeded New York Shock Exchange and the number 6 seed, that is Portland Men's Roller Derby.
No, I just want to make a slight correction. You said 122 for Dallas. They actually have 22.
22. Oh,
it's
well.
Okay, it's okay.
Ringster, I need you right now.
Where's our ringster?
That's right.
There's a nice lead jammer right there for Dr. Feelgood, taking advantage of the major holes that were set up by the red defense of Dallas.
So if you were a fan of Dallas, you got really excited there for a second when I erroneously gave you the score here. So is St. Louis here with 2:40 left here in the first half of play, looking to extend with handrail. He's got out there in Quotable Hulk, leading the charge. St. Louis with a pair of blockers in the box. And Dallas deception. Oh my, tried to call off the jam. Instead, it will be back block called here against Dr. Feelgood, so a power jam now here for St. Louis once again.
Yeah, that is not what the fans in Dallas want to see. With 2 minutes, just over 2 minutes left in the first period, 22 on the board for Dallas, 155 for St. Louis. Dallas's jammer in the penalty box. And 5 more points were picked up by handrail for St. Louis. Dallas doing whatever they can to set up a formation that's going to be difficult for handrail. Forcing handrail to the outside, trying to do the backup game just a little bit. Whistles are being blown already.
Under 50 left in this jam, the power jam here for St. Louis, looking to extend the lead. More penalties being assessed here to both squads, and the box is getting filled up here.
Nice work by Rhino, a veteran skater, had been skating with Dallas for many, many years. Realizing to back that thing up as it were. But handrail is able to get past that red wall set up by Dallas. 5 more points on the board for St. Louis.
25 seconds left here in this power jam, or in the jam I should say, here for St. Louis. This is the power jam, and that's how St. Louis has widened open this margin. Another collection of points. Handrail all the way through for another 5 for St. Louis. 1:15 left here in the first half of play. Under 10 seconds left in the jam clock. So handrail looking for a few more before the whistles call this one off. Will he make it all the way through around turn 3 with 1 more blocker to beat?
Dr. Feelgood did pick up 4 points, but matching those 4 points is handrail as the jam gets called. 56 seconds left.
We will see here shortly the squads that are competing in our next matchup. Taking a warm-up around the track here at Midwest Spark Hockey at Queenie Park. We are located in St. Louis County. Baldwin, Missouri is the official town, so don't be misled. We are not in St. Louis proper. We are on the outskirts at a beautiful county park that's ran by the St. Louis County Parks Commission here. So we are very excited about being here, and it looks like we got time for one more here. It will be Magnum PIMP as your lead jammer for St. Louis.
Now Magnum PIMP just doing the perfect execution of finding that hole up the inside, skating up against adversity, getting through, getting lead jammer. He's facing off against, that is Ninja Please.
So Magnum, as time winds down, period clock showing 5 seconds. Jam clock is about 1.5 minutes left to go in that one. We'll see if St. Louis wants to keep this one rolling along. Big hit by Neil Death Experience there on Dr. Feelgood that opened up that lane there for Magnum PIMP.
5 more points picked up by Magnum PIMP. And of course, the period clock has ceased to run, but the jam clock always supersedes the period clock. So we have as much time as Magnum PIMP decides, and there you have it, calls the jam after picking up 4 more points. So going into halftime, we're going to wait to see the official score update. But it does look like Dallas is going to be heading into the second half with 26 points on the board versus St. Louis with a sizable lead of 188 going into the second half.
We thank you very much for coming along the ride here at Derby News Network. Don't forget, you can talk to us down below in the little chat area, or you can talk to us on Twitter with the hashtag AskMRDA. We would love to hear from you. We're still getting official confirmation of our halftime score, but it is St. Louis with the lead over the number 7 Dallas Deception here at the halftime break. Warming up, we will see the squads taking part in our next bout that's coming up at 1 o'clock Central. That will be the New York Stock Exchange, the defending champions. They're the number 3 seed taking on the number 6 seed, the Portland Men's Roller Derby Squad out of Oregon. We will see them later on this afternoon.
Oh, I just got excited watching these guys warm up. New York Stock Exchange are one of the older leagues in in MRDA. They were one of the men's Derby Coalition. Just the green tights of Filthy McNasty. I just made my little Derby-loving heart pitter-patter, I'm not going to lie. Looking at these amazing skaters out there, Bleed 'em and Reap. Oh, what a phenomenal skater from Portland. And here we have some of the Magic City guys warming up too. This is just like, I feel like a kid in a candy store.
Like an all-star game, yeah.
Yeah, it's excellent to watch. These athletes are phenomenal, man. Just watching the agility of these gentlemen on skates, it's pretty great to watch. There's Rob Lobster. A lot of people know him as one of the heart and soul of the Wheels of Justice.
Yes.
He has been coaching the Wodge for many, many years. Also, if you're a fan of the donuts, he runs the Voodoo Donuts. Not gonna lie.
Yes.
But he has been working hard. He's an excellent skater.
And he gave you a little wave.
Oh,
He's excited that you're here.
Yeah,
that's right.
Everybody knows I'm a big fan of Derby, and so getting to see some of my favorite athletes that I've become friends with over the years, but more so just watching their athleticism. Yeah. Bleed 'em and Reap is mind-blowing. Just keep an eye on him. If you haven't watched him skate, if you're not familiar with him, first off, shame on you.
Yes.
Second off, here's your chance to get to know him very well. He's an excellent skater. And at RollerCon, he skates in pretty much, I think he is cloned, because I've seen him on the track in one room and then on the track in another room, I swear, at the same time. He just skates in every single game. But he has the best attitude. He is such a team player. Wonderful, wonderful guy. And a lot of people know this gentleman right here with the red and white, the red helmet with white speckles, Banana.
Yes.
He's one of the most beloved mascots in all of roller derby. Right. He wrote one of the greatest books of flat track derby to date. If you can pick up Banana's book, it's excellent, excellent. But yeah, just watching all these guys warm up, knowing the kind of action that we're going to have for the rest of the day, wow. Yeah, and the whole weekend's going to be incredible. If you're a Derby fan, you're not going to be disappointed. It's going to be a great, great weekend of action here. We're going to take ourselves a quick break. Our score in halftime.